Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Joining me today is Shekhar Iyer ji, and we're going to talk about a lot of things. And let's first welcome Shekhar Iyer ji. But before that, like this video. Shekhar ji, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel.
Namaskar, Shreerji. Namaskar. Greetings to all your viewers.
Sir, the first thing is the Tamil Nadu BJP president Annamalai going to be arrested based on a complaint by a person called Piyush Manav. This person is saying that a speech that Annamalai made last year was something that would have hurt the sentiments of a minority community. And looks like, this has been, there's a government order passed made, and it's made to look as if the governor has given the consent to it. Sir, I shared the letter with you. Your thoughts. This is camouflage. This is a lie, essentially a lie that the DMK ecosystem is perpetrating. First of all, is there any guilt? That also has to be determined. Your thoughts, sir.
Well, Shreerji, we'll have to first understand what is the charge. Charge is to promote enmity between communities. The charge is to create disaffection. The charge is to create chaos under various sections of Indian Penal Code. And as you mentioned, it has been well orchestrated. It says that the state public prosecutor has recommended it, and action, and on the basis of an interview you gave to a YouTube channel. Now, from what I gather, Annamalai reportedly said in that interview that there are frequent cases put in the courts against use of firecrackers for Deepavali by some NGOs who are out to somehow disrupt Hindu practices. And the whole idea is to see that the Hindu practices are curbed, and those practices are brought to disrepute in the name of environmental pollution. Now, these things have happened in Delhi also. When Supreme Court imposed ban on cracker ban in Delhi, there were many people who were very upset, saying that why is the crackdown only on Hindu festivals? Of course, Delhi has faced a very severe problem every winter. You have a problem of smog, and again, Delhi's air quality has gone down considerably. That's a different issue. Now, in the case of Annamalai, I think it is more to do with the fact his Padayatra has been getting tremendous traction, Shreyaji, day after day. And in fact, today, in fact, this recommendation has come through the collector of Salem. In fact, he is traveling through Salem district today, and he has been getting very good crowds. And the charges that he has been leveling day after day on the functioning of the state government, on functioning of the political leadership of the DMK, and listing the omissions and commissions, a lot of young people are getting attracted. In fact, right from beginning, they have been dismissing, Annamalai and Padayatra and BJP as of no consequence. But I gather now they are forced to sit up, and I think if they are going using this method of putting a case and trying to arrest him and all that, they are invariably giving a bigger platform to Annamalai. What would have taken, say, another 6 months may happen too fast. And because the whole idea seems to be that they are not disturbed by anybody, and that there is no other opposition leader in Tamil Nadu other than Annamalai who is bothering the top DMK leadership so much. Because, and this is happening at a time, sir, you have seen already there was a controversy over how the police went to, remove a BJP flag outside Annamalai's residence recently. Then there was followed with other instances, and the BJP president has sent a four-member team to study these complaints, and particularly attacks on Sangh Parivar, attacks on BJP and its affiliates, and submit a report. Now, Annamalai has already stated that they have documented about in the last 3 years how there have been at least 100 instances where where BJP officers or BJP leaders have come under attack in one form or the other. So obviously, I think they are sensing danger in the rise of BJP in Tamil Nadu. Much to all the skeptics who said BJP can never make it, nothing can be done. BJP is a North Indian party. All those people are forced to sit up at a time when the issues of corruption and things, and about the complicity of the top DMK leadership in the acts of commission and omissions in Tamil Nadu has seen that people are finding that there is only one voice which is willing to speak against this. The local media is under their control, and some of the bigger media groups, including an English media group, is a cheerleader for DMK. So you can imagine that there is no voice which gives the picture of what is happening in Tamil Nadu other than that of Annamalai. So this case is nothing but, I think, an attempt to browbeat Annamalai. But then, if anybody has thought of this as a strategy, I think they are being stupid, because everybody knows Annamalai is not a leader who will be cowed down by these methods, because he has set out on a path with a very clear directive from the Prime Minister and from Amit Shah. And after that brief period when you saw AIADMK walking out, because it also felt that its position and eminence could be, somehow compromised because of the rise of the BJP under Annamalai. So you can see they have gone out and now they are wooing the votes, minority votes, in order to challenge DMK. Well, Annamalai has time on his side, Annamalai has age on his side, and you can see that, of course, Stalin is as usual in a very, very, I would say, in a mood to take pot shots at the governor, because only yesterday he said, "We are very happy that R.N. Ravi is the governor of Tamil Nadu. May he stay here for a longer time, so that his attempts to create problems for us is actually helping us. So I request Centre not to disturb him till the Lok Sabha election." Basically saying that R.N. Ravi is of no consequence. Of course, a particular incident, sir, which is we all have talked about, is about a person walking up to the Raj Bhavan gate and then throwing a Molotov, uh,
Cocktail.
cocktail, basically a bottle filled with petrol. Now, this person was immediately caught, they say, by Chennai police, and then he was quickly taken and then he was produced before a magistrate. Now, people, Annamalai says that this particular individual, who is known in the police records as a known person with criminal antecedents, and he has been not properly investigated as to why would he come. And we also heard the local police officials hold a press conference a day ago trying to explain this man, that how he walked all the way from Tenapet to Giddi Rajbhavan, which is quite a distance. And why would he walk all the way? Because he was opposed to NEET, because it seems he raised slogans against NEET, and he was unhappy that governor has not given assent to the Tamil Nadu law, which wanted to save the state, rather to take state out of the ambit of NEET, which is not the mandate of even the Tamil Nadu government to do so, because it has been done by a central decision, and which was backed by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court wanted it. Now one can see the drama that is going on in Tamil Nadu, sir. But the fact that they are willing to go on, insulting and humiliating a constitutional authority like governor, because governor has been pointing out, particularly the last issue that has upset the state government is where governor sought a list of freedom fighters' names. How many freedom fighters have been honored by Tamil Nadu government? Because it has been our prime minister's contention also. Even though Tamil Nadu had a number of freedom fighters, number of people who were martyrs in our freedom struggle, they have not been acknowledged properly. Barring for a few names like Subramania Bharati or Chidambaram Pillai, Kapalotia Tamilan, people like that. There are many people have not been even documented, as if Tamil Nadu did not have a role in the independence movement. Whereas there were several people who were known, unknown people who had laid down their lives, went to jail for the sake of freedom of our country. And all that governor sought was, you give us a list. And Tamil Nadu government produced a list of 44 names. The 44 names that are which the government acknowledges, whereas there are thousands. And you can see that this has upset because it is known that the Justice Party and Dravida Kazhagam, they did not play any role in freedom movement. In fact, Periyar supported the British, and that's also well documented. So, but because the Prime Minister's concern is the best way to defeat the separatist tendencies occurring anywhere is to evoke a sentiment of love for the country. because that is one way you bring, and particularly among youth. It is in this regard the governor has been pressing on the state government to furnish him with details as to who are the freedom fighters, what is the state government doing about it. This has immensely upset the DMK government, and because somehow they don't want to acknowledge that Tamil Nadu had a big role in Bharat's emergence of Bharat, and as if that will somehow curb the Tamil separatism or the Tamil separatist politics that is evident in Tamil Nadu, and if somehow they feel that we derive political mileage by constantly showing that a Tamil, I mean, an average Tamilan is different from the rest of the country. He is not an Indian, per se. He is something different, and whole Tamil Nadu is different, and the Tamil Nadu is part of the Indian Union by some kind of, forced circumstances. Though DMK had given up during Annadurai's time itself that they would give up this talk of Dravidian land because it was completely impractical idea, and they realized that a separate Tamil Nadu would never survive without being in the Indian Union. Now this attempt, because the prime minister's intention even of holding Kashi Tamil Sangamam was this very purpose, to show to the people of Tamil Nadu that how the rest of India views as a great regards for Tamil Nadu, Tamil contribution, Tamil language, Tamil culture. Now, when this is going on, you can see how, but basically there is a fear that is gripping the local politicians. I would not hesitate to say whether it is DMK or ADMK or all those small regional parties who see their own demise or their own decline in the rise of BJP there. And particularly with a leader like Annamalai, which the BJP has found after a long time, a people who will not do business, because earlier the history of some parties in Tamil Nadu has been, though they were in the opposition, they claimed to be opposition leaders, they were known to be cozy with the ruling party people. Now here is a new leader who is completely from a different background and who is willing to confront the DMK government on issue by issue on a day to day basis. I think that is the reason why you are seeing such cases being foisted, and then, as if the whole legal thing has been explained. So, this is where we are today. I think this action of the Tamil Nadu government is going to boost the BJP in Tamil Nadu, sir.
Let's hope that it doesn't come to that, because that would mean that these people are incredibly stupid in terms of political perceptions. And if it does that, I mean, that is game, set, and match for Annamalai. Yeah, he'll have to spend a few days in jail. He will come out a much, much stronger man. Anyway, these people, I don't know what they are trying to do. They think that by preventing somebody from doing something that the people won't remember. Yesterday, I had, or in the morning today, I had played a clip of a student from Erode. He just made mincemeat of all these Dravida ideas and Dravida model and all that Dravida BS. And if somebody from a tier 3 city has so much knowledge, that means social media is doing its job. It is resonating with the youth. It is really striking a chord. They understand the difference between an articulate, educated, forward-thinking, futuristic person to lead Tamil Nadu rather than these people who, he made a lot of fun in a very nice way. So those of you who understand Tamil, please do watch my hangout with Sriram Seshadri ji. Sir, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say was, if the state government is really keen about, going after people who are promoting enmity between communities, they should go after people who have been speaking ill of Hinduism in the name
Yes,
of
yes.
Sanatan Dharam. There have been
And it
so many
starts with
countries.
Udaynidhi. And it starts with Udaynidhi.
I mean, you look askance or even you encourage such utterances, which actually are hate speeches. Like one can even say, I mean, today we are today what we are seeing is that the speeches that were made then, if those speeches were to be made today, I mean, the speeches that were made at the height of when Periyar was around, and today those would qualify for straight away hate speeches, because in today's case against Annamalai, they have quoted Supreme Court. They have quoted Supreme Court's observations that what constitutes hate speech. So therefore, I think, I mean, this is just nothing but just targeting Annamalai. Probably the good times have come for Annamalai that even his opponents want to give him a boost.
Yes, indeed. Now, we'll watch keenly what is going to happen there, and I'm sure all these statements, whether it is that DMK spokesperson Rajiv Gandhi or Professor, what's his name, Thirumavalavan, that guy also in every stage he will say, "My life goal is to destroy Sanatana Dharma." So even that line is not original of Udayanidhi. He's borrowed it from Thirumavalavan, VCK, Vidudalai Chiruthai Katchi. So all these things will be played out. So if you're going to take Annamalai to task, all these people also have to be lined up. So we'll see how that
Exactly.
goes. So let's move on to the next topic, this Qatar verdict. What is the government, central government up to? Any ideas? Has the MEA disclosed its hand?
Well, sir, I gather from the topmost sources in the government is that there are several dimensions to this thing that has happened. I'll come to that later. But as to what is happening now is our government, our government officials, our diplomats, and even at a political level, it is being taken up with the Qatar, even the Qatar Emir, to as to what is the nature of the case, why this verdict has been given, and Qatar government has promised their Indian counterparts as to what is the nature of the case. And because the judgment has not yet been made public, the charges have not been made public by Qatar government. But the several questions do arise, Shriyarji. The juncture and the timing of this. Because broadly we understand is these eight Navy people, and some of them are have been commanders, have been captains of Indian Navy warships. They retired and took up private jobs, and that too they were hired by a company, Doha-based company called Dara Global, which was working to in the induction of Italian stealth submarines into the Qatari Navy. And from what I gather is they are being accused of spying for Israel. I mean, this is the charge that has been made that retired Indian Navy officers and a sailor, there is a sailor also, and working for a company which is Doha-based company, allegedly were engaged in spying for Israel. So I mean that's a charge. Now, of course, this charge has not been made public, but by now everyone thinks that since they have been convicted in an espionage case, people think it has to be Israel. Now, the whole thing is about timing. It has come out that see India and Qatar are great trading partners, and Qatar is the seventh largest supplier of energy to India, and Qatar itself is the third largest. They hold the third largest deposit of natural gas, and India is a huge buyer of natural gas from Qatar, apart from Iran and other countries. Now, the timing of it, the question that is being asked in New Delhi, in the power corridors, in the government circles is this: is it anything to do with India's position on the current standoff between Israel and Hamas? Because India had come out in support of Israel, particularly the terror attack by Hamas on October the 7th. So the question is, India has also spoken about the cause of the Palestinians, suffering of the Palestinians, about the humanitarian crisis, but at the same time has maintained that the October 7th terrorist attack by Hamas on Israel, on the innocent people and children, particularly women, particularly, has to be condemned because India's approach under Prime Minister Modi is no compromise on terrorism. So, therefore, a question arises: is this case, the timing of the judgment, anything to do with this particular thing? I mean, is it something to do with this? The second thing, sir, there is a second speculation or trying to understand the motives and reasons for this particular judge, apart from the merit of the case, because we don't have details and nobody's talking about merit of the case. Now, the second thing that everybody is asking: is it because Qatar is upset with the G20 summit in Delhi, where America, UK, and other countries announced India, Middle East, Europe corridor, and obviously Qatar did not find place in that corridor route, neither did Turkey, neither did Pakistan. And of course, this was seen as a counter to China, with whom Qatar has good relations. So the second speculation is this something to do with the Middle East corridor project? And already President Biden, you did an excellent show on that. Biden has already said that there is a reasons to suspect that this Hamas attack on Israel is to jeopardize this project. This is going to be a completely game changer, which would have involved a new route from India to Europe via Saudi Arabia, constructing new infrastructure, rail line, road, highway, and things like that, and also developing ports and using an Israeli port too. Haifa would have been used. Now, this is second speculation. Third speculation is Qatar, by doing something involving Indian personnel, also signaling to the US as well as to its rivals now, because we have seen in the last few, earlier Qatar used to be a follower of Saudi Arabia, but ever since Qatar's economy boomed because of the discovery of energy deposits and huge deposits. Now, after that, Qatar has been asserting its role and position, and the fact that it's a very close U.S. ally, because it's the only Arab country that has allowed American soldiers on the ground. The biggest U.S. air base is in Qatar. The biggest US airbase in the Middle East is in Qatar. So you can see how close it is to the Americans. And probably this is a way of signaling that it is not happy with India's role, and India, as well as the Abraham Accord, which has seen relations improving between United Arab Emirates and Israel, and also relations that were set to take a new path between Saudi Arabia and Israel before the October 7 Hamas attack. So is this because of this? And third it's also a lot to do with the current emir of Qatar, who is Sheikh Hamad, who has been playing a very assertive role, and the fact that a powerful instrument of Qatar's influence in that region, or even in other, is that Al Jazeera is located in Qatar, and Al Jazeera has been targeted by Israel also, because Israel accuses Al Jazeera of openly siding with terrorists. Now, there are several factors to this. Why I'm saying this? Of course, the government is looking at whether, after what is done and after its efforts to free these men, of course, the stated official position is like this: that if there are foreign nationals charged in India, obviously, government of India cannot straight away intervene and do away with the judicial process in a country and set people free. A good example is the Italian Marines case. Italian Marines who were arrested after they killed our fishermen of Kerala coast. There was a long process. Finally, Supreme Court intervened. They paid compensation, and those Italian Marines were freed. Now, India does not want to appear that it is interfering in a country's judicial system, but it is indeed concerned, because I have never seen a MEA statement before, on any situation where it says we are shocked. We are shocked by the death penalty to these former Navy personnel who were working in their private capacity. But behind the scenes, government is looking at several options. It may even approach the International Court of Justice, just as it done in the case of Jadhav, who is held by Pakistan, who was similarly given death penalty. So there are several dimensions to it, and the timing of it. Of course, Congress has spelled a big opportunity, because it sees that Prime Minister Modi faces a very, very tough challenge to get these men released. If what has happened to these 8 former naval officers is connected to the current conflict and the emerging situation in West Asia. Share.
Thank you so much, Shekhar ji. I think we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Certainly, one other point of friction for Qatar is that they used to be about 40% of, they used to be providing about 40% of the liquefied natural gas to India. And now India has signed deals with Tanzania and Mozambique, if I remember correctly, to get about 20% of that quota from these two countries. So essentially, India is downplaying or downing its requirement of LNG from Qatar. And that's a clear sign that, see, India is essentially getting back at them for insisting on that Nupur Sharma case. This is Modi's play. This is his playbook. Just like the way he showed Mahathir Mohamad the door by stopping the palm oil imports from Malaysia. 2 weeks later, Mahathir Mohamad, he was gone. So same thing here. Unfortunately, Qatar doesn't have a democracy or a place where the leader can be shown the door. But the message is very clear.
And
you are
also,
being unreasonable. Yeah, go
and
ahead.
also, sir, Qatar has become a sort of an epicenter for, the hardcore Islamist conservatism. And the 𝙒𝙬𝙤𝙦, who is wanted here, is actually staying in Qatar. Who is wanted by the Indian authorities for the cases registered against him. He has been shuttling between Qatar and Malaysia. So you can see that the kind, and in the Nupur Sharma case you mentioned, it was Qatar which was the first to react and came out very strong statements and even summoned our envoys to seek an explanation. So obviously there is more to it than the particular case that is in question as to what is the nature of the case. And of course, Qatar had provided consular access, in the sense our ambassador had met these people at least twice, and other legal formalities and other legal help would certainly be given by the government. But there is much more to this whole episode, Shreyas.
Thank you so much, sir. Now let's take a quick look at what Priyanka Gandhi has to say. She said that she felt ashamed that India abstained from the 2 votes that took place on Friday in the United Nations. Again, she's not stopping there. She's also quoting Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi saying that an eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. Great. So this trying to associate oneself with the original Gandhi is a familiar trait of this Gandhi family. And Shekhar, before I yield the floor to you, I want to tell our viewers what happened in 2007. In 2007, Sonia Gandhi had come visiting to the United States. It was around October 2nd, the birthday of M.K. Gandhi. And there was a proposal to call October 2nd as the International Non-Violence Day. Now, the Overseas International Congress puts out ads, and the ads are hinting that Sonia Gandhi is a descendant of the original Mahatma Gandhi. They were hinting, they were not saying it outright. I'm just going to show you a rebuttal that appeared in all the US newspapers. Can we have the picture, the slide, please? Okay, so a few friends of mine, Satya Dosapati, Narayan Kataria, Ari Sahani, and a few others, they basically came out with a rebuttal of the original ad, saying that what the Congress is doing is truth versus falsehood, non-violence versus aggression, sacrifice versus self-aggrandizement, honesty versus dishonesty. So it took apart the entire premise of what Sonia Gandhi was, and this pissed them off. The Indian National Congress group in the United States got pissed off. They sued the said individuals who put out this ad for $100 million. $100 million. And well, these are all people like me, they had day jobs. They just felt that the truth was being stretched too far. So they actually approached Dr. Subramanian Swamy, who had a good friend who was a very, very successful lawyer in New York. And this gentleman took up the case and he said that I'll do it pro bono. And he got the case quashed. The point I'm trying to make is that they will do anything to somehow grab that mantle as if they are part of the original Gandhi dynasty. And to me, it smacks of the same thing. They are trying again. They are probably thinking 15 years is a long time, 16 years is a long time, that people won't remember. I'm showing you the point-by-point rebuttal. Can you go to the next page, please? So I'll put the link for this, viewer, so that you guys can read it. You may not be able to read it clearly. It's not easy to understand. But they are stating the fact. Sonia Gandhi is an Italian, and that this person, by virtue of marrying Rajiv Gandhi got the name. This Gandhi is different from the original Gandhi. All that stuff. Just for stating the facts, they got sued for $100 billion. So it is not new that this family is trying to appropriate that name, I should say misappropriate, to try and pass themselves off. And I don't know how many Indians are still drinking that Kool-Aid. Anyway, I'll let Shekharji explain what happened.
Well, sir, the October 7 attack by Hamas has snowballed into an issue where it largely come into has largely come into play because of the elections happening in the 5 states, and also the Congress, with its initial response actually condemning the Hamas attack on Israel, and later the Congress Working Committee, trying to move away from that position because of problems in Kerala and other places, and also worry that
Sir,
it would not.
yesterday, sir, sorry, you said Kerala. Yesterday, a member of the Hamas addressed these people online.
Exactly, I'm coming to
And
that,
he's,
sir.
oh, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
No, no,
Yeah.
the interesting part is the Indian Union Muslim League held a rally in support of Hamas, where openly there was, you know, a justification for what has happened there since October 7th and why Hamas had to do it. And the lone speaker who tried to, condemn that October 7 attack happened to be the Congress MP Shashi Tharoor, who was invited as a guest speaker. So when he also spoke about the sufferings of the Palestinian people, he said, "Look, it started with that October 7th, and that got many IUMA leaders very upset as to why should he speak about the October 7 attack by Hamas." And so there are several other speakers who spoke after Shashi Tharoor, and they said, "Look, that people have suffered for a long time, and that Hamas attack is actually the result of what has happened before." Now, what I cannot and coming to this, the other thing that has come to light is they got a leader of Hamas, Khalid Mashal, to address a gathering in Malappuram, which was organized by Jamaat-e-Islami. Now, Jamaat-e-Islami is the a group that revived in India after the original Jamaat-e-Islami, led the movement for creation of Pakistan along with Muslim League. And after that, the Jamaat-e-Islami India, it got revived, and today there are two Jamaats. One is the Jamaat-e-Ulema Hind, Jamaat-e-Hind, and there is the Jamaat-e-Islami. Now, Jamaat-e-Islami is a very hardline group in India, and they had their student wing had a function where they invited. Now, what I cannot understand is, can't we not speak for the people of Palestine without backing Hamas, a terrorist group? Why is it that many people who are so concerned about the Palestinian issues, which is very natural? Yes, Palestinians have been subjected to a lot of pain and suffering over the years. But then, who is responsible for the present situation? Why was not humanitarian? Why did not Hamas consider the humanitarian aspect of its own people, of Palestinians before launching those 3,000 rockets into Israel? And why is it that we are seeing parties which are heavily dependent on Muslim vote in India openly coming out in support of whatever has happened there on October 7th and almost justifying it in order to condemn Israel? When our approach has been, we are ourselves victims of terrorism. That is why Prime Minister's first reaction was condemnation of the terrorist attack on October 7th, which was unprecedented given the magnitude and the dimension. And then subsequent to that, Prime Minister of Israel Netanyahu spoke to Prime Minister Modi. Because on terrorism, sir, our position is, if we are seen to be, having different standards for, acts of terror, then when something happens to us, who is going to support our cause? We have had experience in Jammu and Kashmir. We have fought insurgency in Northeast. And today we are also seeing that somehow peace is able to be re-established in Manipur, which all involves cross-border activities. Now, I cannot understand why the so-called left liberal, so-called, They are blind to the what the Hamas has done to its own people. Because if at all there was a progress towards a settlement of the Palestinian issue, that issue has been set back by at least 10 years, Shriyarji, because what Hamas has done. You cannot have a settlement of a problem if there is going to be continuous, mutual suspicion, fear. And what has happened in October 7th has completely changed the psyche of an average Israeli towards any solution. No matter today, Israel is under tremendous pressure to see that its operation in Gaza, or to the extent possible, doesn't, anyway affect the women and children or the other civilians. There is a tremendous pressure on Israel, and Israel is still holding on, though there have been, forays into Gaza by Israeli troops. But the point is, if we are really interested in the two-state solution, if we're really talking about the future of Palestinian people, that will involve some kind of a trust developing between Israel and Palestine, which no amount of our heart beating in India in support of Hamas is going to help, because Hamas doesn't care for Palestine. That's very clear. All that they are interested is elimination of Israel. And this particular attack of October 7th has made it very clear. They are not interested in any dialogue, and no dialogue is possible. All they want is Israel eliminated. And those who are backing Hamas, I have reasons to believe they support that view, that what Arab countries had originally had thought of, that they will wipe off Israel from the map, that has made a comeback. If that is so, if this is the position that some countries, I do not know if Qatar is also taking that position. Of course, Iran is very open about it by backing Hamas as well as Hezbollah. Now, as a responsible country, which India has been constantly talking of, keeping both the issues in mind, security of the people of Israel and independence for Palestinian people. We have been saying it at every forum. The reason we voted against the UN General Assembly resolution was for a simple, which was moved by Jordan, for a simple reason: it did not touch upon Hamas at all. There is not a single word to condemn the October
Sir,
7th.
India abstained, sir. India
No,
abstained. India did not.
India abstained, but that way also conveyed its opposition. Like we
Yes,
abstained
yes.
on Russian role in the Ukraine war. We abstained because we said that is condemnation in, in a forum like UN General Assembly is not going to help the situation. And how can UN General Assembly adopt a resolution that does not mention the October 7th episode at all? And when Canada moved an amendment to that resolution saying that we should condemn Hamas, India backed Canada resolution, notwithstanding our current diplomatic standoff. We backed Canada, but that Canadian proposal was rejected by all other countries. Now, without understanding the dimensions, the implication, significance of what is happening in UN, what is happening in West Asia, here is Priyanka coming out as soon as the news broke that India had abstained. You saw that she's saying shocked, she's ashamed by what India has done, and how Mahatma Gandhi had wanted everybody to speak for the innocent. So and one cannot but conclude that it is leaders like Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi who are driving the current Congress policy, whereas I believe that Congress still has leaders who have enough political wisdom, enough political experience. They have served in the government to understand that these are times where you have to be very, very careful with the position you take, because this could again get reflected back on you. And supporting any terrorist organization, it's never going to help. And you see what has happened to Pakistan today for the similar reasons. They encourage so many groups. Now those groups are at each other's throat and at their throat. So for the sake of elections, for sake of, because Congress feels after Karnataka elections that with minorities vote they can bring about a very big change. Little realizing if some votes are getting polarized towards you, there could be also some votes getting away from you. In fact, a larger chunk could be getting away from you by these kinds of pronouncements. Because I have not seen any, even the other parties, the so-called, the RJD, of course, left parties, what they say do not matter, but they do not matter much in terms of implications. But even the left parties have been very open about support for, Hamas in Kerala particularly. We haven't heard any condemnation for a simple reason, because left realizes that they have to keep that vote with them. Otherwise, it would go to Congress. And Congress fears they must also get onto that vote. This this race for vote bank is what is causing these people to say this. Because I
Sir,
believe, sir, entire Israel, sir, when we talk of Israel, Netanyahu is not the entire Israel, or he doesn't represent all sections. There are moderate voices in Israel too. Similarly, in Palestine, there are many Palestinian leaders, thinkers, who feel that somehow some peace has to be, made with Israel. Some acceptance is really needed. You can't go back to those times where say, I will completely wipe off Israel and then only Palestine. I mean, that is not going to happen. So when the country has always followed a path of moderation when it comes to this Palestinian issue, why is Congress, getting on to a hyper mode and taking a position which, if in the event of its coming to power someday, if it does, that is not going to do well, because you have to remember what you say today, because whatever you say is today, these are documented, and they could hit on your face at a future time.
viewers, if you want to understand this, you may want to start with a fantastic book by Leon Uris called Exodus, EXODUS. Fantastic book because it talks about the formation of Israel and the first war that happened. And see, many of us forget that Hamas has been ruling Gaza pretty much on its own, and they have been getting budgetary help. And when they said that they are going to build new hospitals and new buildings, instead they were directing all those cement resources to building tunnels. So they have abused the system, they have misused the system, and now they are crying uncle. And they are crying that, oh, no, we shouldn't be doing this thing. Yesterday, Shekharji, they were this close to signing an accord for the freeing of hostages. Clearly, somebody got a call from somewhere and they walked away. And then the assault has started in full speed from last night. And we have done about 4 or 5 shows recently, viewers. You may want to catch up starting from like 3 or 4 days ago when talks of ground invasion started. Lots of information we have shared. In fact, I would say that we were the first in many of these news information snippets, and then the rest of the media has picked up. So you can get the latest information from us. We are really working hard to get you all the facts. But more importantly here, the point I'm trying to say is that PLO, which was supposed to be the head of the Palestinian authority, people, they recognized officially the state of Israel. This happened long time ago during Arafat's time, Yasser Arafat's time, Dr. Yasser Arafat's time. By the way, India was the one which gave him a doctorate. And they're very funny. They had him sit on that, that folding chair that we have, that metallic folding chair we had 15 years ago, the thing that creaks a lot. He had a concrete floor, dais, and then he put the thing, and the thing will and they made him sit on that, and the person who was conferring the degree kept mispronouncing his name as Yasser Arafat. Yasser Arafat. It was a joke, sir. Poor man got a PhD, honorary PhD from a university in India. But the way we did that was a very haphazard job. Anyway, PLO recognized Israel's right to exist. Now, when they keep saying free Palestine from the sea to the river, they're going back to the same thing, saying that Israel must not exist. I mean, there are 10 million Israelis, of which 2 million are not Jews. What are they going to? What are they talking about? So this is not the problem is people are getting easily brainwashed. Even very articulate, very well-read people said that Harvard thing is still going on. I'll give viewers, I'll give you an update. Tomorrow morning, you'll have the update on what happened on that Harvard case. There's another interesting twist there. Sir, let's go back to the last item. We have to do it 2-3 minutes and then we can take a few questions, sir. DKS. D.K. Shivakumar is a man who can pull a rabbit out of a hat. What is this new rabbit, sir?
Sir, land is gold. So,
true.
For everybody thinking how D.K. Shivakumar would, will look for the new gold. Well, he has come with a fantastic proposal, which has immensely pleased all the real estate lobby, the contractors, everybody, by declaring on the Ayudha Puja day that the Kanakapura, which is also his native place, that will be brought as part of South Bangalore, as Bangalore district, which means currently Kanakapura is one of the tehsils of Ramanagara district. He has said, look, I am, as a deputy chief minister, I am in charge of Bengaluru, and I cannot do anything. I cannot put money in your hands, but I can see that the value of your property goes up hundreds of times, and that can only happen by Kanakapura becoming part of Bengaluru district. And the whole idea is because if this were to happen, and whereas Ramanagara thing happened when Kumaraswamy was the chief minister, and Kumaraswamy wanted that Kanakapura is one of the 5 taluks which is part of Ramanagara district. It's 50 kilometers from Bengaluru. But by Shivkumar talking about Kanakapura being part of Bangalore, which means that whole belt, that the whole area is going to get a fantastic rise in the real estate index, and that has been welcome, is seen as a very good news, and perhaps is a good way for Congress to mobilize resources before the next Lok Sabha elections. So, but this has greatly, immensely, I would say immensely upset H.D. Kumaraswamy, because it was Kumaraswamy who had included Kanakapura and Ramanagara district to boost Ramanagara's real estate worth. And already the charges are flying thick that D.K. Kumar's move is to benefit one corporate group with which Robert Vadra is associated, and they have bought huge property in Kanakapura and Ramanagara and so many other places. That is DLF. So Kumaraswamy has openly said that this is to help Robert Vadra. Now, this is, there is a lot of attempt at monetizing, issues and holdings by just changing which district they will belong to. Because once Kanakapura gets a South Bangalore district identity, that means the value will shoot immensely. It will no longer appear that Kanakapura is far off, though Kanakapura already boasts of several developers, several real estate projects. So this is a very interesting development, and which has worried others. Of course, those who are looking for a boost in their whatever they are currently holding, they are very immensely happy. And D.K. Shivakumar is very quite plain about it. Look, this is the only way we can help see that more money comes into your hands. If more money comes into your hands, more money comes into our hands. So this is unfolding in Karnataka, and which has, of course, those who feel they will be affected if so much of attention and focus goes to Kanakapura. Then what happens to Ramanagara itself? So these are very interesting times in Karnataka, because before Lok Sabha elections next year, Shekhar, the attempt is to see what all can be monetized for the sake of whipping up the financial resources that are needed to fight elections.
That also confirms our stand that it has become very difficult for politicians to get money back into India at election time. This path, this route, the Modi government has effectively plugged. So they have to generate the money from within. All I would tell all those people who want to buy property in Kanakapura in the hope that it will go up. I would exercise caution. Two reasons why I'm saying that. Number one, the highest paying technology companies in the United States have reduced headcount, and whoever is surviving, they have also reduced their salaries. This is something that you may not know. If you had followed Daily Global Insights with Sridhar Chityalaji, we had talked about this. Salaries came down close to 40%. Programmers are making $400,000 a year, dollars a year, Shekharji. And whoever was left standing when the first wave of layoffs happened in Google and all, they called as FANG companies, FAANG. Now, F is now Mang because Facebook has become Meta, MAANG. They said that, all those high salary days are gone. You are going to be paid only so much, and many got laid off. 70% of the staff in Twitter got laid off in its headquarters. 90% or 95% of the Twitter staff in India got laid off. 90 to 95%. And actually now Twitter, in my opinion, is better. I feel less shadow banned than I was before. I'm not saying I'm not shadow banned, but I feel less shadow banned now, because I can see more, reach for some of the tweets that I put out. Anyway, long story short, now we are, this is all tamasha time, but I still have to laud people like D.K. Shivakumar. They do know how to pull a rabbit out of the hat. So let's take some questions now, please. Shekharji, small request. We are 51 minutes into the program. There are about 12 questions or 13 questions. If you could run through the questions quickly, I would appreciate it, sir. Can we have the first question, please? Vijay Kumar Srivastav wants to know why Stalins are stirred by Annamalai hurricane. Did Keralites as a group have links with Hamas?
Well, as I explained, Annamalai has been gaining traction. As I've said, that one does not want to exaggerate the impact of Annamalai, but the fact remains that among the opposition leaders, he has been drawing a lot of attention, and people are seeing some difference in him. They have seen the usual opposition by ADMK, which has been for a long time defunct till Edappadi took control, and he has just started addressing rallies, and that too, after being with the BJP for such a long time, and then suddenly leaving the BJP and then going on its own path and focusing more attention on minority votes, but rather than on the issues that affect the entire Tamil Nadu, particularly the kind of governance that DMK has provided since the last assembly elections 2021. People are flocking to hear Annamalai because he's speaking in a manner which they believe is telling the facts as they are. So that is why he's drawing attention. That is what. Now, as to the second part of this question, Vijay Kumarji, whether they have links with Hamas, it is not that. Suddenly, Hamas is some kind of an attraction for many people in Kerala. They think that what Hamas has done is something, probably some people are inclined to believe that approach of attacking Israel, sending rockets, that's the way you deal with opponents. We have seen and we have dealt with this kind of mentality in Jammu and Kashmir. And also those people who are very upset with this government, Modi government, they somehow see that the Hamas can be a source of inspiration for the plans they have in mind against this government, which is a very dangerous thing, because that is going to result in more complication, and ultimately the sufferers will be the people for on whose behalf these people are holding rallies.
Also, the left liberal ecosystem has this aptitude. Hum kare to chamatkar, tum kare to balatkar. I'll give you an example. If the Ahmedabad cricket crowd say chant Jai Shri Ram, that is not okay. But if Hyderabad crowd says Pakistan Zindabad, that's okay. And Chennai crowd says, I should say Chennai crowd, DMK sympathizers who are sitting in the stadium say Pakistan Zindabad, that's okay. So this thing, when you are being dished out the same stuff that you are putting out, they don't like it. Same problem here. They know that if they stand with Hamas, if this whole community that is now become so frustrated, if they say that we stand with Hamas, nobody is going to give them the time of the day. So go back and say we stand with Palestinians, blah blah blah. Nothing changed to the average Palestinian. Please understand this. See, I'm saying all these things to the fence sitters who refuse to believe what has happened. I mean, there is copious amounts of videos. You go to Telegram channel, guys. Sign up to be in Telegram. You will start seeing how much, how brutal the Hamas actions have been. It's not funny. Next question, please. Akash wants to know, is Congress revival limited to state units only?
Well, it has to at least start at the state level first, because the real Congress revival would require, the Congress coming up in Uttar Pradesh. That is the real test where it is.
Next one, please. Will the pitch for KG se PG tak free education by Rahul Gandhi campaign gain traction across the country? Is it a viable solution for economy to provide education for free?
Sir, education being free has been attempted by different state governments. At many places they are free. Some states have even made provision for being free for girl students. That is already there. But what the Congress is now proposing in states like Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, is actually that they will give 500 rupees to students at the school. So that is a kind of promise which is, simply takes us by surprise. Now you are willing to even, in a sort of, bribe the first-time voters, because all these those who are basically doing 10+2 courses, you are willing to give them 500 rupees per month. Now, where are you going to find such resources? How will you manage? And this is one of the promises they have made in the states going to elections, that they will actually put 500 rupees on hand of the students who are in class 11 and class 12, or even some lower classes.
Next one, please. Kalyana Raman Dhruvan wants to know, what could be the action of centre on the findings of a 4-member delegation to Tamil Nadu? This is a party delegation, not a government delegation, guys.
Yes, the fact that the BJP President JP Nadda sent a team is to, in a way, convey to the DMK government in Tamil Nadu that, they are taking these attacks on BJP leaders, attacks on RSS functionaries very seriously. So, and of course, the report would be submitted to Nadda as well as to the state governor, but then it would start building up a case against DMK government. Of course, I'm not saying that, the Prime Minister Modi will think of any drastic measures, but definitely it will put the government or state government on notice as to prevent such incidents in future.
Next one, please. Venkatraman Iyer wants to know, today RaGa promised to conduct census within 2 hours of coming into power at the center. Can this be classified as a joke of the decade? Still, citizens vote for Congress. Your view, Shekhar Iyer ji.
Venkatraman ji, this is, I don't treat it as a joke. Rather, I see it as a move that is fraught with lot of danger. Because this constant talk of caste census seems to be, though, they hide behind a larger objective of actually finding out what is the social and economic status of various castes. But the idea is simple, that use caste sentiments to generate a support for Congress and other opposition parties, so that the BJP does not benefit from a united Hindu vote. That is the only objective. I don't think they are looking at any other objective. All that they want is to go back to a situation that existed around when the time when Mandal was discussed and implemented, and there was a lot of chaos initially, and subsequently accepted by all sections of society and by government and by political parties. They want a similar situation where, since nothing is working against BJP, whatever they have tried so far, why not split castes? So you go on emphasizing, the OBC class, then you say underrepresentation, make an issue so that BJP cannot benefit from a united Hindu vote.
Next question, please. ARS wants to know, ask Shekhar ji, will the popularity of Annamalai bring in some dividends for BJP?
No, certainly I see that, traction growing for the BJP because of the kind of leadership that Annamalai has provided. And it's good that the BJP chose somebody who has not been in politics for too long, who has brought a lot of freshness, who has brought a lot of energy into his leadership and to his stewardship. And it's not immediately, but I have seen where the BJP has risen from zero. That this is exact approach where reaching out to the people, traveling, going to interior areas, talking to the people, explaining what the party stands for, and thereby building up a base which will be a fresh base with targeting young voters who have seen through the games played by all these so-called Dravidian parties.
Next question, please. Raghu Kashyap wants to know, arrest of Annamalai will be stupidity of international order on the part of DMK. Shekhar Iyer, will that convert to votes for BJP?
Sir, I am not looking at immediate benefit for BJP in terms of Lok Sabha elections or even assembly elections. But the point is, if you are going to arrest Annamalai on the basis of the charges that are being mentioned now, this is definitely going to make people sit up and see why is the government after Annamalai? What has he done that they want to put him in jail? And I think that is the way, the opposition will be truly born in Tamil Nadu, because we have seen the relationship between ADMK and DMK, for the most part, particularly after the demise of Jayalalitha, is almost cozy, I would say, because all that Edappadi Palaniswamy is today fighting in the Madras High Court is over the seating arrangements, that he doesn't want to sit along with OPS in the Tamil Nadu Assembly. He has gone to the court saying that I need a different seat, and OPS should not sit with him in that row. Now, this is the level which, this is the subject that is engaging the ADMK leadership today. We can understand. So, when are they going to take on the DMK?
Next one, please. R.K. Rao wants to know why no one is talking what could have happened if all the rockets landed in Israel in absence of Iron Dome.
Sir, already we know that the rockets that were fired by Hamas, 1,400 people have died in Israel. The largest single day casualty that has happened in Israel. This has never happened before. Because Iron Dome technology could not prevent thousands of rockets being fired.
Next one, please. Raghavendra Sagar wants to know, in view of the recent Karnataka High Court judgment, what is the anticipated fate of Karnataka, Deputy Chief Minister, coalition government, since there are false murmurs of Operation Lotus?
So, well, sir, till Lok Sabha elections, this is going to keep going. I mean, I don't see anything happening. But the fact that various factions in the Karnataka Congress, they are flexing their muscles. They are all waiting for the Lok Sabha elections to get over. If Siddaramaiah can deliver well on the Lok Sabha seats for the Congress, maybe he can continue more. Otherwise, there is going to be clamor on the basis of caste group, more deputy chief ministers, and things like that. And D.K. Shivakumar, with all his grand ideas to mop up resources, is trying to please Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, and Rahul Gandhi, because he feels ultimately the chief minister Gandhi should be his, rather should have been his, and that Siddaramaiah is only a brief interlude.
Next one, please. Pawan Kishore wants to know, DKS today made a public statement in Telangana that INC has fulfilled all poll promises. But how true is that? They're not even giving enough electricity for farmers. Can Congress sink the BRS?
Well, Congress is in a great buoyant mood, because the very fact that they have emerged as the strongest contender and has displaced BJP, and there are several leaders coming from BRS and BJP to the Congress, that has given them a sense of, I would say, high hopes on Telangana. And what DKS is saying is that they have fulfilled all the promises in Karnataka, and the promises that they have made in Telangana will also be similarly fulfilled. But question is, at what cost? Because Congress is going on one path, sir. Make promises. I mean, say all that you want to say. I mean, not just promise moon, you promise the entire galaxy of stars to the people. And then once you win, then let us see what is implementable, what cannot be implemented, what has to be put off. Now, this is, I would say, an act of irresponsibility, because a party that has been in power for such a long time should understand that many of these promises are not implementable. They cannot be implemented, because that is not the kind of resources that state governments have today. Yes, any good government worth its name and salt would definitely spend money on public welfare programs. But to simply give out doles in the hope that you are going to create a big change, that's a misnomer. We have seen in this case of loan melas. Earlier, loan melas would be given, then there would be a clamor for loan waivers. And finally, what happened to our banking system?
Next one, please. Chirantan Pinto wants to know, is Exodus the second book of Moses? No, I don't think so. It's just the word Exodus by Leon, Leonuris. He's written other books called Battle Cry and other things. Fantastic writer. Fantastic writer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Next one, please. Thank you, Sohan Pandey. नमस्कार सर, बहुत दिनों बाद आपका शो लाइव शो देखने को मिला. धन्यवाद सोहन जी. Thank you, SD Square, for your super sticker. Thank you, Hiren Shah. And thank you, Pawan Kishore, for the super sticker. Shekhar ji, with this, we conclude our today's program, or tonight's program, I should say. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your liking the video at the very beginning helps us reach a wider audience. This is more or less proven now. So what is there to not like about Shekhar ji's stuff? You know he doesn't exaggerate. He stays to the fact. We tried our best to be truthful. Sometimes, our predictions, we say that it is a prediction. Those things may not come out to be true. But here is the book, Leonuris, Exodus, and a novel of Israel. So this is the one that I was talking about. It's a fantastic book. It's a book of fiction, but it's 99% is true. You have to read the book.
And it is written as if it is a screenplay for a movie.
Yes.
So vivid.
Yes.
So vivid in description of events. And characters come very alive.
Very true, very true, very true. Some of his books are just out of the world. Especially there's another book that he wrote about how the United States, preserved West Berlin. When Germany got split, viewers, it got split in two ways. 3/4 of Germany became the West Germany. 1/4 was East Germany. But Berlin itself was within that East Germany. And that also had to be split both ways. And therefore, you had a Berlin Wall. That was why that was erected. This West Berlin, which was again controlled by the Western powers, they needed to have supplies to go in there. That's another book that he has written. It's a fantastic book. Leonuris is a must read. Thank you so much, sir. And we'll see you again, viewers, next Saturday, same time. Namaskar. I should say 10 p.m. Today we got a slot, so we did it at 9 p.m. Namaskar.